Yo, what's good with you on today's video? I got part 4 of how to make plants versus Brainrots and stuff. Sorry for the delay, guys. I just want to remind everybody again and stuff. I am busy with school. I am a college student and stuff. So I can get busy at certain times. I had a lot of tests and everything to study for, so that's why I was not posting and stuff. So yeah, just all I ask is that y'all be patient and stuff. If I could post the video, I would, right? So just be patient and stuff, and the video will come out as long as, like I said, as long as the series continues to get love and support. That aside, thank you guys for all the love and support you guys have been showing on the series, and just generally anyone who's watching my videos in general. But so yeah, so part 4, I made a seed system, plant buying system, so you can buy the seeds for the plants. And then you can plant them. They don't grow as of yet. If part 4, because part 3 didn't do all that well, if part 4 does better than part 3, then I will continue part 5 with the growing system. And then I did fix a bug where people brought up to my attention NPCs, um, to where NPCs will be destroyed before reaching the final checkpoint and stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Okay, so this is obviously another important part of one of the most important part of the series. This is the plant, so make sure you pay attention to everything and stuff. Not as complex or as confusing. Definitely not as the video won't be as long as part 3 was with the NPCs. But yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into it. So I guess first things first, let's just go ahead and knock out the NPC. So we need an NPC to buy plant seeds from. So you guys can bring in your own, like, now for this you can use a custom model and everything. Like you can use any kind of model or rig, it doesn't matter and stuff. For me, I'm just gonna go to the top and click avatar, rig builder, and then just insert a regular default block avatar. But yeah, it doesn't matter what rig you use. Then I'm just gonna rotate it, right? And then I'm going to just rename this NPC to shop NPC, right? Then I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna find the humanoid root part. I'm gonna insert a proximity prompt into it, right? I'm gonna change the action text to just say shop. Now this very important, very important. Make sure you disable requires line of sight. It will not work properly if you do not disable that. So make sure you disable that, and then you can set the hold duration to whatever you want it to be. I'm going to set it to be 0.5. Hold duration is pretty much how long the player has to hold whatever key, whatever your keyboard key code is set to and stuff, right? So yeah, we're done with that. Very simple, very easy. Now let's move on to the UI. Okay, so you guys know how in Plants vs. Brainrot there's like a shop UI where you go and then the menu opens and stuff, and then you're able to, browse the shop and everything. So let's go make that real quick. So open up Starter GUI, then inside our core GUI, we're gonna want to insert a regular frame, and then we're going to want to call this our shop frame, right? Then we can just go ahead and drag this to the middle of the screen. I'm gonna set the size to be 300 by 300, so I'm just gonna type 300 and press enter. Boom, just drag this to the middle again. I'm going to set the background color to be a nice black, and then set the background transparency to be 0.2, right? Then I'm going to throw in a UI corner. This is optional, you guys don't have to do this if you don't want to. Things like the colors and like the stylistic choices and stuff, that's up to you guys. All that really matters is the the parenting of the UI elements as well as the names. That's all that really matters. But the colors and corners and all the stylistic things and stuff, the creativity, all that's up to you guys and stuff. I'm not even a UI designer. I just try to make this look decent for the videos. But yeah, so then I'm gonna insert a text button into the frame, right? We're going to want to rename this text button to be close text button. This is where what players are gonna click to close the UI, right? I'm going to set the background color to red. Then I'm going to scroll down, bold text, rich text, scale the text, so the text to be X, for closing. Then we're going to the text color to be white, text stroke color should be black, and text stroke transparency should be set to 0, right? Then we can scroll all the way up. We can set the size to be 50 by 50, so just type 50 and press enter. Then I'm going to insert a UI corner into this as well, so UI corner. Then I'm going to drag the close text button to be kind of in like the corner over here. But then I also want it to have like I also want it to have like a kind of black outline, so I'm going to insert a UI stroke into it. So UI stroke, and then I'm just going to change the apply stroke mode to be border. And there we go, that looks nice. Again, you guys don't have to do all that stuff. All that matters is that you have the close text button, the colors and everything, it's up to you guys. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we're going to move on to the plant frame now, right? So insert a scrolling frame this time, right? You're going to want this to be inside of your regular frame, right? And then for this, I think I did like maybe 200 or possibly 250. Let's see, what does 250 look like? Yeah, so I think I did like 250, but I want this to be, mm, oh yeah, I want this to be like kind of centered. Okay, yeah, so we'll do like 250, and then and then we'll go down to possibly 250. Yeah, so we'll do something like that. Then I'll set the background color. I don't know if I'm gonna do black as well, or if I might do. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do like or I think I'm gonna do like a dark grayish background transparency to 0.2 as well, so it kind of fades like that. And then I am going to give it a border, so something like yeah, something like that. So I'm just gonna set the border size pixel to 2, and then border color will be black, and then yeah, I feel like that looks nice. I do want the scroll bar to be a little bit like the color to be a little brighter so that people can see it. So like that, like a like a little lighter gray, something like that. Looks nice, right? Boom. Okay. So you're gonna want to rename this scrolling frame to be your plant frame. This is where the buttons are gonna be so that players can buy the different plants and stuff, right? Now, um inside the plant frame. I think I'm gonna have a UI corner inside of the plant frame. Let's see. I'm gonna duplicate this and then I'm just gonna drag this over inside that. Yeah, there we go. That looks nice. So yeah, so I'm just gonna have that. So I'm just gonna have a UI corner with that and stuff, right? So all I do is just duplicate that. So just Control plus D while having it selected, or just click it and then just click duplicate or copy and paste it. Doesn't really matter. So then from there, I'm going to insert a UI grid layout into the plant frame so that the sizing is automatically handled by this. So we're gonna say UI grid layout. We're going to say 250 by 100. That's what I'm gonna go with. You guys don't have to go with that, but that's what I'm gonna go with, right? Then, so for each seed or plant you have in your game, you're gonna want to insert a frame into the plant frame. The great thing is we just have to do this. All we have to do is just do this one time. Wait, I just Oh, I'm stupid, my bad, guys. I'm so stupid. The plant frame is supposed to be inside of the shop frame. I don't know why I had that parented to the core GUI. It's supposed to be inside of the shop frame. That's my bad. So I'm just gonna drag this back over here. Yeah, I don't know why I had that like that. That's my bad. But anyway, so the great thing is all you have to do is just make this seed frame one time, then all you have to do is just duplicate it or copy and paste it, and then all you have to do is just change the pricing, the rarity, and the name, obviously. And stuff. You guys can choose to have images if you want. So I'm just gonna name them all seed frames. So I'm gonna make two as for examples for you guys. So we're gonna say seed frame. And then for the properties, I do also want this to have a UI corner, so I'm just going to copy and then paste this. I do want this to have a okay. I don't know why I did that. Oh, I know why. My bad. Let me right click and then paste into. Okay, there we go. Right. So I want this to have a UI corner. I'm gonna set this to be 12 though. And then I think no, I'm gonna say that should be good. So in the seed frame, I'm gonna make the background color a nice orange. So something like that. But I think yeah, it needs to be a little smaller. So I'm gonna set X to like 225. Yeah, 225, and then I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna set the not sort order. Um, what is it? It's not start corner. Horizontal alignment. Yeah, that. I want it to be aligned to the center, right? Now, inside of the seed frame, or actually, before I get to that, I'm gonna insert a UI stroke into this. So UI stroke, because I want this to have a nice color. So let's give it like a white. Let's give it like a white border. So let's do white, and then yeah, that looks nice. So then inside the seed frame, you're gonna need to have three UI elements, a text button and two text labels. So first, let's handle the text label. So let's insert a text label into the seed frame, right? We can make this like 30. It doesn't need to be 200, most definitely not. It can be like 100 by 30 probably, and then you could just drag this like at like the top middle, right? And then this is going to be your name text label. So the name of the seed or slash plant. So name text label. For me, I'm gonna use cactus and strawberry. So for the first one we're gonna do, it's gonna be cactus. So we'll say cactus seed. Now, this is very important. Make sure the text is the exact name because like after we're done with the UI, we're gonna go over to server storage and we're going to make a folder and stuff that has all the seed information. So make sure the text matches the exact name. So if you put cactus seed here, when we get to the seed folder in server storage, when we get to making that in a few minutes and stuff, make sure the names match. And then let me just double check to make sure we're good. Okay, we're good. So yeah, cactus seed, right? So then set the text color to be white. right? Texture color will be black. Texture transparency will be set to 0. Bam. Okay, so we're done with that. I'm going to set the background transparency to be 1. I'm going to duplicate this. So Control plus D while having it selected. Then our next text label will be rarity text label. So just rename, the one you just duplicated. I'm just going to drag this to be right under it. Then this is going to be the rarity, right? So the rarity text label can obviously be smaller. So we can set this to be like 50 and stuff, right? And then for this, I'm going to set this to be rare. And then you can also do colors to make it stand out more. So I'm just going to set rare to a nice light blue. So something like that, right? So this is my rarity text label. So we have the name of the seed, the rarity, and then now we're going to move to the purchase button. So insert a text button into the seed frame, right? This is going to be your purchase button. So purchase button, right? So here we have the purchase button, and then you're simply just going to drag this to the bottom middle. We're going to need to make this smaller, so maybe like set that to like 30. Yeah, okay, yeah, that should be good. So I think I'm gonna do like 100 by 30, and then we'll set the text, go down, bold text, rich text, scale text, and set it to oh my bad, set it just the price. That's what it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna set the price to be 200. And then we're going to do white text color. Texture color will be black. Texture transparency will be set to 0. And then we want the background color to be green. So green, boom. Okay, and then we'll just drag this to the right there. Yep. And then it just needs UI corner. So I'm just going to just again copy this and then just paste into, and then there we go. Okay, we have our purchase button. So this is what you use to purchase it, right? Once you click this button, it'll send over the name of the seed, and then the server will handle the rest. Okay, and then from there, all you're gonna do is close it out, and then when it comes time to add more into the game, all you gotta do, very simple, just click this, Control plus D on your keyboard, or just duplicate, and then bam. Now all you have to do is just go in, find the purchase, find the purchase button, update whatever the price is. Say this is 400. Update the name of the seed. Let's say this is strawberry seed. The rarity. Say this is epic, and then we want to also update the color, so purple. Bam, there you go. Very simple, right? Very simple with the UI. Okay, then bam, they should all be named seed frame, and then yep, from there we are done. By default, you want to make sure the shop frame is not visible, so just make sure that's unchecked. Then we're going to go create the seed folder, which this should be very quick. Go to server storage, just like the NPC folder. We're going to click the plus icon, insert a folder to the server storage. Rename this folder to be seeds, plural, folder, right? Then you're going to insert another folder inside of this folder, right? And then each folder will be an individual seed slash plant. So first thing will be cactus seed, right? So we have our cactus seed, and then you're going to want to insert 4 values, two strings, one number, and then a color. So first things first, let's take care of the numbers. So insert a number value, right? This is going to be the price. So obviously, like the UI, all that is just displaying and stuff, but we need to make sure that the server itself is verifying the price so that exploiters can't change the price and stuff like that. So yeah, this is why we're creating this on server storage instead of server storage, right? So set the price to whatever you set the UI element to be, right? So I'm just gonna set this to 200, right? And then it'll make sure that the player has that amount. Then you're gonna insert a string value, bam, right? Rename this to be seed name, so the name of the seed. So it should literally just be the same name as the uh, name of the folder. So cactus seed, right? Then inside of that, you're then going to insert another string value, and then this will just be the rarity. So you just name the seed rarity, right? Then set the whatever you want the rarity to be. So I'm gonna say rare. Then lastly, you're gonna want to insert a brick color. So a brick color value to be exact, right? And I'm just gonna want to rename this to be seed color. So this is gonna be the name, or sorry, the color of the seed, like as it's growing and stuff, right? So you can set that. So all you have to literally do is just click this, choose whatever color you want. Since it's gonna be a cactus, I'm just gonna choose a nice green. Then again, all you gotta do when you want to make a new one, all you gotta do, click this, duplicate, and then just update the information. Strawberry seed, right? Go in, price, update the price. Update the color. Since a strawberry will make it red. Seed name, strawberry. seed, seed rarity, epic, very simple, right? Very simple. So yeah, then you just continue adding as many as you want. You don't have to, you don't need to, and you can have more than two. I'm just simply only doing two just for demonstration purposes. But yeah, so that's the seeds folder. So when we place the actual seed to start growing, it'll be whatever color you set this to be. So that's why we need that. Okay, and then we finish the shop NPC. So now we can get into the actual coding. So let's go ahead and open up the core local script. We'll be here for a little while. So first things first, let's go to the top, press enter. You want to create a variable for the user input service. So local UIS is equal to game get service user input service. We're gonna need this to be able to detect when players click so that that they're able to plant. Then let's also create a variable for our shop NPC. So we're gonna say shop NPC is equal to workspace wait for child shop NPC, right? Then we're going to scroll down after the core event, and then you're going to say shop NPC, wait for child, human root part. We're just waiting for that to load, pretty much. And then we're just gonna say shop NPC dot human root part dot proximity prompt dot triggered connect function in parentheses PLR, which is short for the player who triggered the proximity prompt. Then press enter, right? Then you're simply just going to enable the UI. So core GUI dot shop frame dot visible is equal to true. Very simple, right? Now we're going to use a for loop to make so that whenever they click any of the purchase buttons, it'll trigger the remote event to fire to the server so that it can verify the purchase and make sure they have enough money and then they can buy it. So we're going to say for I comma v in I pairs, and then you're going to say core GUI dot shop frame dot plant frame get children, press enter, right? So keep in mind shop frame, and then we're going into the plant frame right here, right? And then obviously we first want to make sure it is a frame and not not one of the other UI elements. So we're going to say if v is a frame, right? Press enter. Then you'll create a variable. Because then we'll say seed frame is equal to v, right? Then you will say this is why it's important to make sure they all have the same name. So you're just going to say seed frame dot purchase button dot activated connect function close parentheses press enter. Then you're going to fire the remote event core event fire server in quotation marks. You're going to put purchase, that'll be the name of the event, then comma, you're going to send over the name of the seed. So seed frame dot name text label dot text. Very simple, right? And then after you're done that, right, we're going to set up the close function so pretty much players can close the shop frame. So you're just simply going to say core GUI dot shop frame dot close text button dot activated connect function close parentheses press enter. Then core GUI dot shop frame dot visible is equal to false. Then after that we have our last function. So this would be the planting. This is going to handle the planting. So you're going to say UIS dot input began connect function in parentheses put input comma processed, press enter. Then you're going to say if input dot user input type is equal to enum dot user input type dot mouse button one and not processed, press enter. So mouse button one is in left click, the mouse button, and then not processed, which means the player is not typing a chat when they clicked. Then you're going to get the player's current mouse position. So mouse position is equal to player get mouse dot hit dot position. Then you also need to get the target, which is pretty much the object if their mouse is like hovering over one at that time of the clicking. So it's equal to player get mouse dot dot target. Then you're gonna use some if statements. You're gonna say if target, so if there is a target, and string dot find target dot name comma in quotation marks. You're going to put checkpoint. If you're confused, allow me to explain. So target, which means the player's like their mouse is intersecting with some object, right? A 3D object, so pretty much like an object in the workspace. If you recall inside of the base, right? If you recall, plants are going to be planted here along these things that inside the lanes, which we call checkpoints. But since they all have different names though. Checkpoint one, checkpoint two, like the numbers make them different. So what we're just saying is if you find the words checkpoint inside of like a part of the name, then it is to be included, right? So pretty much any one of those is valid. So from there you'll press enter, right? Then use a for loop, so for I comma v and I pairs. Then you will say, so this is kind of just kind of we're doing some work ahead of time kind of thing. We're gonna say player dot character get children, press enter. You're gonna say if v is a tool, right? Which pretty much means they have a seed because the seeds are tools. So they're trying to plant the seed. And v dot name is not equal to shovel. We obviously haven't made a shovel system like a way to destroy the plants yet, but this is like we're gonna handle this because I took the code from my Grow Garden series stuff, so we're gonna get to this eventually. So then press enter. Then you're gonna say core events, fire server, in quotation marks, string plant, that'd be the name of the event, comma, v, so you're gonna send over the name of the seed tool, then the target, so whichever checkpoint you're trying to plant on, and then the mouse position stuff, right? Which I guess technically doesn't really matter. I guess technically in this game it doesn't really matter because I'm pretty sure that the plants go straight to like directly in the middle of it, but I mean I don't know. I don't know how much I really care about that. Um but yeah, so we're done with the local script. Now we can move on to the server script. Okay, so we can close that out. We're done with the base. So let's move on to the server script. First thing first, let's go ahead to the top and create a variable for our seeds folder. So press enter, and then we'll say local seeds folder is equal to game.server storage wait for child seeds folder, right? Then we're going to scroll all the way down and we're going to set up the remote event stuff. So let's go here. We're going to say core event on server event connect function in parentheses, put PLR, which is short for the player, comma event type, the name of the event, comma arg1, comma arg2, comma arg3, which is just all short for argument. So argument 1, argument 2, argument 3, which is just simply pieces of information we have sent from the client to the server. Then press enter. So then you're going to use an if statement. You're going to say if event type is equal to plant, or sorry, purchase. We're going to handle purchasing first. So purchase, press enter. Then you're going to create a variable for the seed name, the name of the seed. So it's equal to arg1, right? So we're going to say if seeds folder, find for child if you find the seed, right? Then press enter. Then we're going to find the specific. So keep in mind, we're searching this folder to make sure the seed exists. Then we're going to find the specific seed folder. So specific seed folder, and then is equal to seeds folder, find for child's seed name, right? So then it would be like one of these two, for example, for me, right? So once we found that, we need to make sure they have enough money for it. So we're gonna say if player dot leader stats dot money dot value is greater than or equal to specific seed folder dot price dot value, enter. Then you can really just copy and paste this part to save yourself some time. So selected, control C, control V, and then just change the greater than symbol to be a minus then. So then it'll just subtract the money. And then after that, you want to see if they already have this, if they already have one of the seed and stuff. What you're gonna do is if they already have one of the seed, I just realized something actually. I forgot to do. We need to create a seed inventory folder. I just realized that. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. So let's take a break from that. My bad. Let's go up here. You're simply just gonna just copy and paste the leader stats folder. So copy and then go after the money. After you create the money, then you're just gonna paste this, and we need to keep track of which seeds the player currently has. So you're gonna call this not seed folder, seed inventory. It is a folder, but we're just gonna call this the seed inventory. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, right? So now we have a seed inventory. So then from there, we're going to say if player dot seed inventory. If they already have it, then we're just going to simply increment it, increase it by 1, like to say like that's how many they have. And if they don't, we're going to create the value and then just set it to 1. So we're going to say if player dot seed inventory, find first child seed name. So if they already have it, press enter. Then we're just simply going to say player dot seed inventory, regular brackets, seed name, and you're just gonna say dot value because the value is pretty much how many of the seeds they currently have. So plus and equal to 1, right? Then you're gonna say else if not. So if they don't have it, so player dot seed inventory, find first child seed name, press enter. So if they don't have it, then we're gonna create the value. So you're just simply going to say seed is equal to instance.new. It's going to be a number value because we need to keep track of how many they currently have. So seed.name will of course be equal to seed name. Then seed.value will be equal to 1 since they just bought one. And then seed.parent will be equal to player.seed inventory, right? And then we need the tool so that they can plant the seeds. So we will create that tool. So we say seed tool is equal to instance.new. This is going to be a tool, right? Then we'll say seed tool that requires handle will be equal to false, right? Scroll down a little bit, and then we're going to say seed tool dot name is once again equal to seed name, and then seed tool dot parent is equal to player dot backpack, right? And then we will say seed tool dot equipped connect function close parentheses, and then wait equip. No, no, sorry. We don't need that. We don't need that. Sorry. We don't need that. So yeah, once they do that, because if they yeah, because that was for planting and yeah. Okay, yeah, we're good. My bad. Yeah, we're good. So all we need is that. So yeah. Okay, so from there we are done with the purchase event. Now we can move on to the planting. Okay, so you can click this arrow right here, and then you can go right here before the second to last end. Press enter. Go up. Else if event type is equal to in quotation marks. Now this is plant. So for planting, press enter. Right. Then we're going to create a variable for the seed tool. So that's going to be arg1. Then next we have the specific checkpoint you're trying to plant on. So checkpoint is equal to arg2, and then you create a variable for the mouse position. So specifically where you're trying to plant it. Because first we need to confirm a few things. We need to make sure that the player is trying to plant on a checkpoint. Um, one on a checkpoint, two on a checkpoint that doesn't currently have any plans, and three on a checkpoint that belongs to their base and not another player's base. There's a few things we gotta check first. So we're gonna say if checkpoint dot parent, if you're let me show you guys real quick. So we go here. So remember these so we're gonna say checkpoint dot parent, which is the specific lane, then dot parent, the the model of lane or group of lanes, right? Then dot parent again, which is base one, and then we're gonna check the owner value. So we're gonna say dot owner dot value if it's not equal to player dot name stuff, because that means they're trying to play on someone else's base. Or checkpoint dot parent dot you guys remember the purchaser, right? Remember we need to make sure they also have bought that line. So dot purchase dot value is equal to false. So either they don't own that base or they haven't bought the lane yet. So press enter, then we will return, which will halt the code and it'll just like return stuff. Like it pretty much will just anything after that will not run. And then one more thing we need to check to make sure is that I know in Plants vs. Brainrots you can only have one plant per like square. So we need to check that. So we'll say if checkpoint find first child in quotation marks we're going to put is planted. We're going to create this value if there isn't anything there. Press enter. If there is, that means there's already a plant there, so we'll return. Press enter and then else. Then we'll create the value is planted will be a bool value, of course. So instance.new bool value we'll say is planted.name is equal to is planted. That's not how you spell that. Okay, I don't know how to spell. Is planted, enter, and then is planted dot value. We'll set it to true, right? And we'll say is planted dot parent is equal to checkpoint, right? And then after we are done that, we simply just want to see how many of seeds are left. Let's say the player is using their last seed, like they have one seed left and they're using it now, that means they shouldn't have any more, so we're going to destroy it. So we're simply going to destroy the tool from their the inventory. Or sorry, not destroy the tool. We're going to like destroy um the seed, I guess is like the best way to phrase it. Or yeah, from their seed inventory, yeah, is what I'm gonna say. So we're gonna say if player dot seed inventory regular bracket seed tool dot name on the outside dot value is equal to one. This means it's still the last one. So press enter. So then you'll just let's just copy and paste save so some time. Control C, Control V. You just colon destroy because that's their last one, right? Then press enter and then you'll say else if, and then once again, just simply just Control C, Control V, right? And then we'll do a little bit of fixing here. So let's space this out. Go right here. You want to and then for this you want to say for this should be greater than one if it's greater than one, right? Then you want to change this. We're not destroying anything. You're simply just going to say that value is less than or equal to one, right? And then we'll just select that, right click, format selection so it's formatted properly. There we go. Okay. So from there, After that if statement, we're done. Now we can actually start creating the seed. So we're going to be very basic. So we're going to create a seed part. So seed is equal to instance.new quotation marks part, right? We're going to say seed.size is equal to vector3.new. It's up to you guys for most of this stuff, but I'm just going to go with this. So 1 by 2 by 1, then seed.anchored, of course, we want it to be anchored. Then seed.position is equal to mouse position. Then seed.brick color is equal to seeds folder. And then remember regular bracket seed tool dot name. And then you're going to say dot seed color dot. Remember we made this at the beginning of the video inside of the seeds folder, right? So after that we have the seed color dot value, then the material. So seed dot material is equal to enum dot material. I went with salt. And then seed dot can collide is equal to false. Then lastly seed dot parent is equal to checkpoint. And then we need a growth percentage value to keep track of, like, how much is currently growing, even though I haven't made a growing system as of yet, but we're just setting this stuff up. So we're gonna say growth percentage. This is the amount it's grown so far. Is equal to instance.new. Of course, this is going to be a number value. Then we'll say growth percentage dot name is equal to growth percentage, right? Press enter, and then you'll say growth percentage dot value set to 0 by default. Growth percentage dot parent is parented to the seed. And then after that, we'll simply just say this. We'll say if not player dot seed inventory, find first child seed tool dot name, press enter. Then we'll say seed tool destroy. Pretty much, because keep in mind, right? If the player used their last seed, we're gonna destroy the value from the seed inventory. Which means if they don't have the value in the seed inventory, then we need to destroy the tool because they shouldn't be able to plant it anymore since they don't have any more seeds left. And yeah, that's it. Let me just make sure we're good. Okay, we're good. All right. Let's go ahead and get to testing this. As always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, whether it be these scripts and models or any of my other ones from other videos and stuff, just simply read the description to find out how to gain access to that and stuff. So yeah. Okay, so first things first. Let's see. Okay, so first thing first, let's go ahead. Let's buy a lane, right? So let's buy a lane. So we have our first NPC. So one, let me show you guys how we fixed, or not how we fixed, but because we already did it. So I fixed the bug. So the NPCs they'll make it to the. Oh, I just realized I never actually covered that. I just thought about that. So you see how they're being destroyed, right? At the second one it said that. So my bad. I actually forgot to do this. So what you're gonna do is we're going to open up the core script, go to the core module. Let's do this real quick. So you're gonna scroll, I believe it's down. Yeah, it's down here. So right here, right? So you see right here inside of the NPC move function how we have set the checkpoint number is equal to 1. So you're gonna set this to be 0, right? Now keep in mind, this is for if you did it like me, like because I did decrementing, which is going down. I started at 8 and then I went down. If you started at like 1 or something and then you're going up, you need to increase it like you would need to increase it by like if you have this set to 8, then you would need to do this by 9. You need to set to 9. You would just increase it by 1. But since we're going down, we just need to set it to 0. So look, if I press play now, right, the issue will be fixed. So the NPCs are gonna start walking. In the meantime, let's open up the shop. Boom, I can open the shop. I can also close the shop, right? And then I can buy a seed. As you can see, I bought the cactus seed and stuff, right? So as you can see, when the NPC walk, they'll make it to the last checkpoint, and then they're destroyed. There we go. Okay, so I can buy the different seeds. As you can see, I can buy them. As you can see, if I don't have any more money, I can't buy any seed. Oh, well, let me show you guys. If I open up right here, I have my seed inventory. You see how it stopped here and I can't buy any more seeds because I'm out of money, right? Now I'll show you guys how we can plant. So if I select the cactus seed and then let's say I try to plant over here, nothing happens. Nothing happens. If I try to plant over here, nothing happens. However, if I plant right here, bam. As you can see, the seed planted. I only bought one cactus seed. That's why it's gone now. So boom, I planted. It's going to start like that, and then it's going to eventually grow. Now, look what happens if I try to plant a strawberry seed. Nothing happens because there's already a seed there. But I can plant over here on this one or over here, and then now I'm out of seeds. So, yeah. So that's the plant system. I think that's yep, buying, planting. Yep. So, yep. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely leave a like and subscribe and stuff. Like I said, as long as you guys continue to show the series love and support, I will continue to drop more and more parts and stuff. Let me know if you guys find any bugs and stuff. As always, I'll try to have it fixed and everything. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely if you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank y'all for watching.